Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about Mercury in Aries. There's a lot happening to Mercury in Aries. It is going to have a conjunction with Rahu. There's going to be a retrograde. It's going to be part of the eclipse. It is combust. So we really need to explore it. Plus, the moment Mercury goes into Aries, it is crossing a gandanta point. And as we are going into April, May, we are more unstable here. So Mercury is going to be in Aries from 31st March to 7th of June. So it's a long period for Mercury to be in Aries. Let us explore. Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking Mercury in Aries. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. I also want to remind you about the Baba conference, which is happening from April 2023. We have a very great respected faculty. I'm, of course, going to be lecturing as well. It's online. So do check it out. Baba.org, and the early bird is 8th of April, so you don't want to miss that. So let us talk about Mercury in Aries. It is from 31st March to 7th of June. So that's a long transit of Mercury in Aries. And what Mercury does is that during its orbit in a year, certain signs it rushes through. So, for example, Mercury in Pisces was only for 15 days. So it rushed through Pisces, and now it has come into Aries, where it is going to retrograde. So whenever Mercury retrogrades, then that sign, it will stay much longer. And so it is going to be there till 7th of June. During this period, there are a number of important aspects that we keep in mind. Firstly, Mercury turns retrograde. Secondly, throughout this period, there is a strong influence of Rahu, and Rahu will also be part of the eclipse. So Mercury is part of the eclipses. Then Mercury is with the sun. It is combust, and Jupiter will also come into Aries. The extra aspect of Mercury is that it is going to have a Partivartana yoga with Mars till 10th of May. So as soon as Mercury goes into Aries, and all through its retrograde period as well, Mercury and Mars are going to be in mutual reception. Why is that? Because Mars is in Gemini and Mercury is in Aries. So there's all sorts of multiple influences there. So let us explore them one by one. So the first aspect is that it goes into Aries through gandanta. So on 31st of March, it is a bit unstable position. We just need to watch it. It doesn't last very long, but we just not making any major decisions around that time. But then it will be in Aries, where it will retrograde in Aries. So the retrograde of Mercury in Aries, this is an important one always. In 2023, we have 4 retrogrades. Mercury retrogrades from 21st April to 14th of May. So always you watch out for the day Mercury turns retrograde, the day it goes direct, because those days are unsettled, unexpected. You may find that, travel arrangements, appointments, you say something, but the people hear something else. Then normally as astrologers, we keep note of the whole retrograde period, because anything can go wrong. I mean, the computer's not working, you've made an appointment, you've forgotten about it, all sorts of crazy things. Sometimes you say something, you're meaning something, but people take it in the wrong way. So just keeping that in the back of your mind, that is the most important thing. Also, Mercury has a conjunction with Rahu, and this time Mercury is under the influence of Rahu, and Mercury's most important role is that it gets influenced easily. One of the rules of Mercury is that it gets influenced easily, and during this Aries transit, Mercury is with Rahu, and Rahu is always the key influencer. Even if other planets are there, Rahu is always the key influencer, and he's disruptive, and he's trying to give you the wrong type of thinking. So we have to be careful. If you're getting some radical ideas and you think, I must do this right now, just watch for it right throughout this transit from end of March to June. Rahu's influence is there. And so if you have the ideas or thought process, then you think, okay, I'm going to wait after Mercury goes into Taurus. It's a much more comfortable position for Mercury as well. And I'm not rushing into making any new ideas. And that is what is most important factor. Mercury-Rahu conjunction is on 6th of April. After that, Rahu is still there, and Mercury, when he retrogrades back and comes back on 14th of May, it is coming back to 10 degrees approximately of Aries. It doesn't come back to the exact conjunction with Rahu again. So this is a fortunate thing that there are not 3 Rahu conjunctions of Mercury because of the retrograde. There's only one on 6th of April, and we can say that Rahu is establishing or creating some unexpected influence. And then because of Rahu influence, and the sun comes into Aries as well on 14th of April, it means that Mercury is going to be part of the eclipses. And the first eclipse is on 19th of April. And I'll make a separate video about it, but the first eclipse is on 19th of April. And Mercury is still direct at that time, and he's in Aries, and this is an Aries eclipse. So, there can be disruptive thinking around that time, and Mercury, what house he rules for you, if he's your ascendant ruler, Gemini, Virgo, then that is an important factor as well. So, next important thing we are watching is the Mars-Mercury Partivartana Yoga. So the moment Mercury goes into Aries on 31st of March, it is starting exchanging signs with Mars. And I did a video on Partivartana Yoga. You may like to listen to that. And what it is that there are different qualities of this Partivartana Yoga, mutual reception. So Mars is in Gemini, Mercury is in Aries, and they are influencing each other. And it really depends on what houses they rule in your chart. But at the same time, it means that Mercury is pulling in Mars also into all this energy. And especially around the eclipse on 19th of April, we have Mars there as well, or Mercury is behaving like Mars, and which is more militant, and it's in its own sign. And this quality remains till 10th of May 2023. So you see, there's a lot of unsettled energy around with these aspects. And then Sun also joins Aries, and Sun is normally exalted Sun, and we are really happy about it. And when Sun is exalted, but because Sun is exalted and he is going to have a Rahu conjunction, he's going to be part of the eclipse, he's going to combust Mercury on 2nd of May. That means that Sun itself is not his glorious exalted Sun. He's under a lot of difficult influences. And so we do need to watch for that. And then finally, Jupiter comes into Aries on 21st of April, and Jupiter crosses the Gandanta. And you see, we are coming onto these planets in Aries, all creating conjunctions with Rahu. So Rahu is a very dominating force, and you'll hear a lot about Rahu. So Mercury is the first one who has the Rahu conjunction, but then Jupiter comes into Aries on 21st. before that Sun comes into Aries, and they're all going to have a clash with Rahu and be part of the eclipses. And then I spoke about Mars Mercury conjunction. So you can see that this particular Mercury in Aries, not the most steady transit, and we all have to be very careful about any choices we make, how we deal with it, because the main issue is that when these disturbed energies come, how are you going to deal with it? What are you going to do about it? It doesn't come easily. We have to train ourselves. It takes time. Sometimes we can all do the wrong things. So don't be hard on yourself. But I want to make aware that how these energies are acting out. So how does this affect you? Aries, of course, Mercury is in Aries, and Sun is going to be in Aries, and Jupiter, and there's the Partivartana yoga with Mercury. So a lot of things are happening. And I would say if you're Aries Lagna, this is a time to be very cool and calm and not rush through things and not do anything. The Partivartana yoga with Mercury means that it's almost like having Mars in the Lagna. Mercury, Mars are exchanging signs. And you do need to be, patient. And, one of the strengths for Aries is to learn patience, because then they become super powerful, not just taking the impulsive viewpoint of life. Taurus, Aries is your 12th house. So this is not your best energy for you. 12th house is the house of loss. It is the house of expenses. It's also a house for spirituality. Fortunately for you, Venus is well placed. Venus is out of all this drama. Firstly, from 6th of April, Venus goes into Taurus. So a lot of this time, Venus is in Taurus till May. So that is giving you a lot of support. But 12th house is also very activated. So it can be expenses. It can be foreign travel as well. It is also wasteful efforts. You make effort, you're not getting reward. So do watch for it, and be Taurus means be slow and steady and take any action with due thought. Gemini, all this aspect, Mercury in Aries is in your 11th house, which is a good house for you. It is 11th house of profit. But what is the thing that Gemini has to concentrate on? Firstly, remember all the transits, the conjunction with Rahu, the retrograde time, the Mars Partivartana. So there's lots of things happening. And sometimes you will not be able to decide between the wood and the trees. You have to really think that too many influences are coming. And if you are unsure or indecisive about something, then that is good, because that is what the energies are saying. And don't rush into anything. But Gemini generally need to analyze and work with things, and you have Mars transit up to 10th of May. But this Partivartana yoga is a Maha Parivartana. It is bringing positive things for you. Yet you have to be conscious of maybe if there are any negative influences, and Rahu's influence, what Rahu is up to as well. Cancer, Aries is your 10th house. 10th house is house of career, job, professional life, general success. 10th house is also karma bhava. Karma means not just your job, but also what are you doing to pay back your old karma? What is your planning of doing things for other people, for yourself as well? So a lot of things are happening. So generally, I would say this is not a negative transit for you. However, because there's too much influence and the eclipses are happening, it can bring a career change or different opportunities. So this particular time is unsettled. So it is important to regard it as that and not to make any big decisions. And especially the two eclipses that are happening. That means the first eclipse, which is 19th of April, the moon is with the sun also in Aries. So that is a sensitive, vulnerable time for you. And the second one is the lunar eclipse. The first one is the solar eclipse. The second one, the lunar eclipse on 5th of May. That is opposite to all this drama. I'll be making separate video about it. But, you keep an eye out on those things. Leo, Aries, normally for Mercury to be in Aries, that is your 9th house, good luck, good opportunity. However, Mercury itself is too much influenced by many different things. And Mercury in your chart rules money. It rules your 2nd house and your 11th house. So definitely financial decisions need to be made with care. And then Sun comes and joins on 14th of April, but Sun is part of the eclipses and Rahu conjunction, and 9th house is also the kind of advice you're getting. So beware of Rahu type of advisors. That means Rahu, people who are leading you up the wrong path. Sometimes you don't know you're led up the wrong path, but if you wait till after Sun has left Aries, gone into Taurus, it's away from the influence of Rahu. Virgo, I would say this is the most complicated transit for you because Mercury is transiting your 8th house, and it's there for a long time. And it is having all the various influences I've talked about. So as a Virgo, you have to be careful, the Aries and the Mars influence, that you're not being impulsive, and to know that 8th house is unexpected. 4 planets are going to be in your 8th house. So, plus all the conjunctions and combustion with Mercury. So it is most important for you to wait till June to make important decisions. I think sometimes you'll say, why such a long time? I can't wait. But it's worth it because this is a period when things are unclear, unsettled. So waiting when your Lagna Lord, Moon Lord is in the 9th house, then that is much better. So that is in June. Libra, Aries is your 7th house. So everything's happening in the house of marriage, relationships. Now, this is not a period where you could say that this is a time to get married, because 7th house has got Rahu, it has got Mercury, it has Sun, and Jupiter will join as well. But all sorts of disturbances are taking place. So it is good that you recognize that, although that can bring later on relationship also for you. But there is unsettled energy as far as relationships are concerned. Luckily for you, Venus is out of this combination. So what happens when your ascendant Lord, Moon Lord is out of this combination means that you can see things with clarity. You can even see your issues with clarity. So, use that knowledge and watch as an outsider. And again, especially during the retrograde and the eclipses, wait till Mercury goes direct on 14th of May before making any decisions. Scorpio, Aries is your 6th house. So this is the house of obstacles, difficulties, and Mercury is placed there. Mercury is not the best planet for you. So being in your 6th house, it is quite okay. Also, it is in Partivartana yoga with Mars, which is in the 8th house. But that 8-6 combination can bring changes or unexpected energy or obstacles for you. So you can overcome that, but be steady about it. Take your time, not be in a rush to do things. I think that is what is most important. Sagittarius, Mercury is in your fifth house, creativity, children, higher mind, good ideas. And that's where you're focusing on. It's definitely for Sagittarius, a lot of new ideas can come to you. And it's a good idea to note them down and decide later what you're going to do with it, because fifth house is so activated. As far as children are concerned, they can also be, hyper or super activated and seeking your attention. So you want to give them attention. And during this Mercury in Aries transit, your Lagna Lord or Moon Lord is going to move into Aries as well. And for present, Jupiter is going to be under influence of Rahu. So Rahu is the dominating force, and so we have to be really conscious of it. I'll be making a separate video about Jupiter and Aries, and you can listen to that. Capricorn, Aries is fourth house for you, home, happiness, and Rahu has been there for some time, and you can have the desire that I want to change home and I don't want to stay where I am. You can feel unhappy. That's what Rahu does. He makes you feel unhappy, regardless of how good or bad your situation is. He's very democratic that way. We feel dissatisfied with what we are doing. So I would say that it is good to think about what are the things that are making you dissatisfied. Is this really dissatisfaction, or you're just feeling that? Of course, Mercury is there. You're analyzing this also. And focus, Sun is also going to come, Jupiter. So there's a lot of energy happening at home. And definitely think about things at present. Decisions can be left for a later date. Aquarius, Aries is your third house of motivation, self-direction, courage, confidence, communication. So I would say so many planets placed there, it's quite good for you. All the planets, especially Rahu, Sun, they do well in the third house. Jupiter's also coming there. The main thing for Aquarius, and it continues to be, is that Saturn is in Aquarius, and how well you are handling that. If you are Aquarius moon or Aquarius ascendant, you have to see how you're handling Saturn's transit, and what degree your moon or ascendant is as well. So sometimes with Saturn in the ascendant and Saturn in over your moon means intense sadesati. You're not in a rush to do things, and you're always erring on the side of caution. Pisces, this is your second house. Mercury is going in the second house. It's thinking about saving, finances, long-term financial health. And now the problem here is that Mercury is definitely focusing on it, but it is also with Rahu and eclipses and all that. So it's a time not to take risks with your financial health. I'm not an expert on finances. I can see what is happening on the astrology point of view. So it's in the second house. So you are being, aware, but at the same time, not in a rush to do things. That seems to be the thing that to be careful about your investments as well. There may be a certain aspect of property, what you want to do with home property. There may be some new work being done there because the Partivartana between Mercury and Mars is between second and fourth house. That's a Mahaparivartana yoga. So that is positive for you. But I would think mostly extreme schemes are not so good to take into account. So, that is it for today. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. Thank you.